Hello, my darlings. Happy Tuesday. How's everybody doing? So, this Tuesday came as a special request from our darling Rachel Adams on how to stop explaining yourself. A lot of us do it. A lot of us do it. And I think that it is so much more a thing for female presenting people to be expected to explain themselves, especially when we use the word no. We don't like to disappoint people, right? We're taught don't disappoint people, do for other people first, put yourself last. This is what a lot of us grew up learning. Maybe not even from our own parents, but from society in general, especially as female presenting people. The absolute worst thing that you can do for your mental health is explain yourself constantly. And why? Why? I mean, it's one thing if you say to somebody who, let's say you said you would do the thing for them or with them or whatever, and then you can't. That's a perfectly okay reason to explain why you had to say no when you had already said yes. But there's a fine line there. There's an explanation of this is why I can no longer do the thing. And then there's the over explanation of trying to make them feel better or to keep them from being mad at you. That is the number one thing, in my opinion, of why we explain ourselves too much. Is to keep people from being mad at us. Because we're taught. If somebody asks you to do something, you have to say yes or they're going to get mad. Okay? To that I say, so what? You are not responsible for other people's feelings. You're only responsible for your own actions and reactions. Okay? You could have something going on and you have to say no, and then somebody's reaction could be way over the top because they have things going on and their reaction is way over the top. That's not your responsibility. And you know what? Their reaction at all is not your responsibility. Your responsibility, first and foremost, is to take care of yourself, because you can't take care of anybody else if you're not taking care of yourself. Put your own oxygen mask on first, right? So why? I mean, like, why do we not just say, I'm not going to explain myself? Again, it comes back to the whole, I don't want them to be upset with me. I don't want to disappoint them. I don't want them to think badly of me. Okay. It will, a lot of us are just terrible people pleasers. Exactly, Kay. Because we were taught to be. Taught to be. Let me tell you, listen to small children. Listen to them. I will use my little great nephew as an example here, that when they're here and then they go to leave, I always ask him for a hug. You've heard me tell this story before. I always ask him for a hug, and he always says no, because he's not comfortable hugging me. He's comfortable hugging mom. He's not comfortable hugging me for whatever reason, right? And that's okay, because he's being taught he does not have to say yes. But what's interesting is when he says no to me, there is no guilt. There is no explanation. It's, can I have a hug? No. And then he goes and puts his sneakers on. I'm okay with that. I don't have an emotional reaction attached to that. It's more of I want him to know that I'm here and I love him. And so that's why I'm asking for, and I'll always ask for a hug. He can always say no for the rest of my life if he chooses to. I don't have an emotional reaction to that. But there's no guilt on his part. He does not feel guilty for telling me no after he had just hugged mom. He does not try to explain himself. Now people say, oh, he's just a child. Yeah, but he's 4. So he knows. And I choose to not act disappointed because I'm really not. I mean, the first couple of times, yes, I was disappointed, but I kept it to myself. Now it's like, okay, when he's ready, I will get that hug and it will be the most special thing in the world. But I do not want to put on him, he should feel guilty. We had a situation where another family member said to him, oh, hug her, you're being mean. And I ripped that person a new one because they were trying to guilt him into hugging me. And I do not want that. I want him to be able to use the word no, protect his bodily autonomy and his mental health, or whatever he has going on, by not feeling guilty for saying no to me for something. He should never, ever feel guilty for telling me no. And for us to teach children that their needs, their wants come secondary to whomever is asking them to do something is completely freaking wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. And this is why we, as adults of this generation, have that need to constantly explain ourselves because we're disappointing that person. So let me explain to you why I'm saying no, and then maybe you won't be mad at me, or maybe you won't think less of me. I promise you, for those of you who are watching now that are younger than I am, and those of you coming in on the replay, there will come a point in your life where you just won't care anymore. You just won't care anymore. Where no will actually become a complete sentence without a feeling of maybe I should explain why I said no. You don't owe anybody an explanation. You don't owe it to them. If you choose to explain, then that should be a choice not made out of guilt or fear, but out of you wanting them to understand. Right? I am so glad to hear this, Kay. I am so glad to hear this. When I hit 50, it was like somebody flipped the switch. And I just didn't care anymore. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're family. No means no, right? But a lot of us still have that whole need. And I'm going to tell you right now, it comes with getting rid of it, I should say, comes with a lot of discomfort, a lot of literally biting your tongue, and a lot of practice. You need to say no and then shut up. And if somebody is pressing you for an explanation, you need to not cave. And it is going to be so freaking uncomfortable for you. If you are a people pleaser, it is going to be so uncomfortable for you. But the only way for you to get over this is exposure therapy. Sometimes silence is the best thing you can say. Exactly, Kay, because you don't owe them an explanation. You only owe them an explanation if it's a choice for you, not made out of fear or guilt, okay? So the next time that you tell someone no and they get angry, upset, act disappointed, I want you to shut up. Literally bite your tongue if you have to. Do not give them an explanation, especially if they start. I just said especially. Oh my goodness. Especially if they tried to guilt you into an explanation. That's when you say, I'm sorry, I'm done with this conversation, and walk away. You do not owe anyone an explanation. This is going to be hard. This is going to be hard for some of you. And I know that, Rachel, you'll catch this on the replay because I know, and because you were the one who asked me to do this, because I know it's hard for you. Bite your tongue, shut your mouth, walk away. If that's what it takes, because the only way you're going to get over it is to practice keeping your mouth shut. You don't owe anybody anything. It's like anything else, you know. A lot of us are like, I don't know you pretty. That's become a war cry for women and female presenting people. I don't know you pretty. Okay. You don't owe people your time. You don't owe them makeup. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe anybody anything. The only people you owe is your children to be raising them properly. I will even go so far as to say, though I'm probably not the best person to be giving this kind of advice to failed marriages, not failed, to marriages. I'm just going to say that. I will even go so far as to say you don't owe your spouse anything, because that's supposed to be a partnership. It's supposed to be a partnership. So you shouldn't owe your partner anything. It's going to be so hard. Who said that? Rachel? I think yeah. It is, you know what? I get it, hun. It's hard. It's hard to walk away, but you have to do it or you will never break this habit. Okay, so it was rage. Rita, if you don't force yourself to do it, you'll never break the habit. Okay? I'm not saying it's going to be easy. There are no shortcuts to any place worth going. Nothing worth having is easy. It's really not. Things have to be worked at. So that is my challenge for this Tough Love Tuesday. I want you to bite your tongue. I want you to keep your mouth shut. And if necessary, walk away. You don't owe anybody anything. All right? I'm glad to hear that, Rita. I am. Because it's not an easy habit to break. I don't know what happened to me when I turned 50. I have no idea, because I used to be one of the biggest people pleasers, constantly explaining myself. And it was like somebody flicked a switch on my 50th birthday. I guess maybe it was because I was like, okay, well, I'm half a century old. Everybody else can go toss. I'm done. Right? So that is my challenge to you. I would love to hear from you guys. Either leave a comment down below or feel free to email me privately. I would love to hear how you're doing with this, because this is a tough thing, but you have to do it. You cannot live your life reacting to guilt and reacting to fear and being manipulated into doing something you don't want to. And that's what this is. This is conditioning. This is Pavlov's dog for some people. Okay? You say no, somebody, at you, and then all of a sudden you're blowing up into this big explanation that you don't need to be giving. It's time to stop. Act, don't react. That's exactly it, Kay. It's hard. I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie. It's hard. It's hard. But I have faith in you. I know you can do this for your own mental health. And for those of you with littles, you're teaching them how to not become people pleasers, how to not be manipulated by other people's reactions to their words. You're going to raise strong children if you can embody what you're trying to teach them. So, and I'm not just talking about you having littles of your own. These could be your grandkids, your nieces, and your nephews. If you're finding it hard to do it for yourself, keep them in the forefront of your mind that you are modeling this behavior for them. Okay. I love you guys to bits. I'm really looking forward to next Tuesday. Haven't picked the topic yet, so message me if you have any ideas, because I love giving you guys my perspective on stuff that you're struggling with. Makes me feel good. So listen, love you guys. Love you. Love you. Please, please, please take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I will see you in sprints, double down days this weekend. So I will see you there. Love you to bits.